This is a copy of Persona 5 Royal, but there's something very wrong with it. Can you see it? Don't even try, I'll just tell you. It's missing the console banner. You know, the thing at the top that says whether a game is for the PlayStation or the Xbox. Now, how the heck did this happen? Is this like some sort of misprint? Or is Atlus intentionally playing some sort of sick joke on me? Is it gonna be like a blind box where I just pull the disc out and hope to God it's not for like the CDI or something? I can't afford to have another copy of Persona 5 I'll never play. I mean, I already have like 5 of these things that I don't even... Oh, it's for PC. I mean, I guess that makes sense. PC games don't tend to have grand statements about what they are, only just a little blurb at the bottom if you're lucky. Anyways, yes, this is a physical copy of a PC game in the big 2025, something that we don't see quite often in this day and age, like asbestos in homes. Now that the initial shock and fear has worn off, let's take a quick look at this anomaly, shall we? So as you can probably tell, this isn't a typical case that we're used to seeing. Besides the lack of console banner, it's more of like a sleeve that's covering this interior that when you pull it out, you see that there's some nice artwork all around it featuring everyone's favorite Phantom Thieves. I don't know why they got the piss filter over them, but regardless, I'm digging it. And when you open it up, you'll see in this sleeve on the left, the art cards that were promised on the front of the box. Pretty nice art pieces chosen, but I don't know if it's an error or something, but the printing on these cards looks odd. It's fuzzy and honestly doesn't look as sharp as the JPEGs of these pieces you'd find online. Maybe it was intentional to sort of give it like a texture or something, but whenever I see it, it just bugs me. And this pamphlet right here behind the art cards is nothing special. It just tells you how to use Steam, but when we unfold the rest of the thing, we see more art and a sticker with the serial number to add the game to your Steam library. And try as much as you'd like, but your boy has already redeemed the game. I'm always 2 steps ahead of you, don't forget that. And with that, that's pretty much the entirety of this physical release of Persona 5 Royal on PC. Pretty bare bones. In fact, I'd say it's kind of worthless. Like, it's cool that this release is incredibly unique in its presentation, having a neat fold-out thing with tons of art and some cards of questionable quality, but it all still feels just like an afterthought, which it kinda was. This release of Persona 5 Royal came out 2 years after the game was remastered for Steam, as well as every platform on the market at the time. 2 years may not seem like much, but in the game and technology world, that is an eternity. Especially when you take into account that Persona 5 Royal actually was released physically on modern consoles on or a little after its release in 2022. Like, it's great that it was given an eventual physical PC release, but by that time, everyone that wanted the game on PC will have likely either already bought a physical copy for some random console, or just bought it digitally on Steam. I wasn't one of those people because I already own 2 copies of Persona 5 and I'm not in any hurry to play it again, but this physical version was actually cheaper than on Steam. Only by like around $3, but in this day and age, that's a lot. I could pay like half my rent with $3. So this physical release on PC was somewhat disappointing and hollow. But how about a physical release that is the literal opposite of that? Well, funnily enough, Atlus also has the answer to that in the form of their collector's edition for Metaphor Fantazio. Yeah, not the regular edition, the collector's edition. Metaphor released in 2024, and on that same day and date of its release, Atlus dropped collector's editions for all major consoles, including everyone's favorite red-headed stepchild. I don't own it personally since I'm over my phase of buying lavish Atlus collector's editions that I don't really do anything with. I also don't own the normal edition, but that's mainly because I'm poor. But anyways, the collector's edition for PC comes with almost everything that you would expect from all the other consoles, such as the soundtrack, art book, the cloth map, and even a steelbook, funnily enough. And you also get a key to Steam, which we'll talk about more in a moment, but yes, this PC Collector's Edition stands just as tall as its PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X brethren. It's, for lack of better words, feature parity with those consoles, which you can't really say about the Persona 5 Royal PC release. And I do know that there are big differences between the two, one being a normal release, mostly, and the other being a special release, but not even Persona 5's normal version is entirely normal. It doesn't even come with a normal case like the other consoles. It's in this cardboard case that I have to avoid sneezing near. Like, sure, it has some perks, but I honestly probably would have just preferred an even more bare bones release as if it was in a normal hard case. It almost makes me feel like a second-class citizen being condescended towards like this, especially when we take into account that these two releases are missing probably one of the most important things that you can include in a physical release. Yeah, due to the fact that most people that own PCs nowadays don't have disk drives to go along with those PCs, studios and publishers tend to not include any disk-related media with their physical PC releases, which is freaking weird. A physical release without a disc is like Taco Bell without Baja Blast. Like, what is the point? I mean, there is the benefit of having something tangible that you can place in your collection. I mean, that is one of the main attractions of a physical release nowadays. But one of the other attractions is being able to have a disc with the game data on it. Sure, download speeds are fast enough in most places that the sting of having to download a 70GB game doesn't hurt that much anymore, but the allure of a physical release has been heightened in recent years due to the numerous delistings and other post-release changes that have occurred with some games. Some people find comfort in knowing that the disc they have is the game that they personally bought, but even that's being taken away now, with some discs and cartridges containing only partial data or even no data at all, just being a key for like the digital download, so I don't even know anymore. This already has diverted from my main issue at hand, being that PC physical releases just don't have discs at all. But that isn't always the case with every release on PC. Let's rewind back to around 2015. Grand Theft Auto 5 is finally being released on PC after having to sit there like a cuck while the PS4 and Xbox One had their fun the year before, and of course the PS3 and 360 the year before that one. Rockstar released the game digitally, but surprisingly they also decided to release the game physically. And this release is one that they didn't skimp out on at all. This copy came in a big ass box, kind of reminiscent of those PC games that you'd see back in like the early 2000s. And it had exactly everything that the console versions had. The map, the manual, which honestly barely qualifies as one to me, and yes, the disc. Actually, this is the area where the PC version exceeds in, compared to the console versions which had either only one or two discs depending on your console. The PC physical release of GTA 5 had a total of 7 discs. Yeah, 7 discs. That's like one disc for like every console this game is on right now. That is because GTA 5, as everyone knows, is a huge ass game. Even without the numerous updates, GTA 5 base clocks in at around 65 gigs on PC, at least according to the game's box. That means around 9 gigs per disc, and let me tell you, installing GTA 5 this way is agonizing. First off, it's something you, of course, have to be physically present for. I just can't let the computer do its thing while I wash dishes or jerk off or whatever. I have to physically plant myself on my chair and keep an eye out for when the game needs to switch discs, lest you end up wasting more time than you wish during the installation process, because man, it is a time sink, more of a sink than probably my dishes are in. This install took me around 2 hours. Now, I'm sure there are several factors that come into play here, like your DVD drive and storage medium, but 2 hours just in general is god-awful. And if this were a Blu-ray disc, this would have just never been an issue like at all. But like, no one except the most fringe enthusiasts own Blu-ray drives for their PC. Heck, even DVD drives, normal DVD drives, are mainly owned by enthusiasts nowadays. Now, whatever the case, DVDs are what we're stuck with, and God, have I never wished for the all-digital apocalypse to take over then while waiting for GTA 5 to install. And of course, after you're done installing the game, you will theoretically have to download and install the billions of updates that were released over the decade that the PC version was out before getting a chance to even see the title screen. And I say theoretically because I didn't even get a chance to do that because the freaking install failed on me. Cruel and unusual punishment. The physical PC release of GTA 5 is an awesome little novelty, but nowadays you are never going to want to install it this way. Just throw the serial key into the Rockstar client and download it that way, dude. This is not worth doing to yourself, especially if it's inevitably gonna shit the bed like it did for me. I don't personally know when the transition happened, but I reached a point in the early to mid 2010s where I just stopped using the DVD drive on my PC. It wasn't even due to the world slowly moving towards solely digital-only PC games, it was mainly of my own accord. Steam was just far more convenient in not just installing games, but also purchasing games too. I didn't have reliable transportation at the time to get to stores or anywhere that was selling physical games, and getting said games shipped to you directly does sometimes cost extra due to said shipping. So digital marketplaces were the only way to really go for me. Also, my disk drive started to act up too, so using any kind of disk, game or otherwise, was an impossibility. Over the years, I've accumulated a massive library of games on Steam that absolutely dwarfs my physical one, all available to me at a moment's notice. This is something that I actually prefer. Digital downloads have been and still are my future. The convenience, the cost, the literal saving of space in my living quarters is something I value more than owning a case and a disc. But I can understand why people prefer owning something physical over digital. Like I said, if you're a collector, then yes, of course you're going to choose the option that lets you fill out your collection with a tangible object that you can touch and even display how you like. Or if you're someone that values preservation, sure, it's a very slow process, but some games are being removed off of digital platforms or being modified or changed in some way that you may or may not agree with. With the physical release, you will always have the game that you paid for. You don't have to worry about EA or Ubisoft running into your house and taking it from your hands. And sometimes the physical version is actually the superior version compared to digital. For this, my mind actually goes to the example of The Last Guardian on PS4, where if you play the disc version without updates on PS5, you can actually enjoy the game with an uncapped frame rate that hits 60 FPS instead of having to deal with a 30 FPS cap. You can't do that digital only. Disc gaming making a grand return to PC is something that will never ever happen. The medium has just become too set in its ways, and while I am fine with it and accept all the downsides that come with a digital-only library, I do sometimes yearn for the days where I not only had an option, but everyone did. The physical releases don't even need to be made in huge batches, and disk drives, like I stated time and time again in this video, are uncommon, so why not take it a step further and require Blu-ray drives? Some studios are still willing to invest in making physical versions, so just go the extra mile and make these releases as enthusiast-based as possible. And there's this, if you include a key with that disc, then these releases could appeal to literally almost everyone. You got a disc and a box if you're an enthusiast, and if you're an average Joe like me, you got a key, a box, and a disc that you could potentially use down the line if you want. Best of both worlds. But it's all a pipe dream. At the very least, we do have these physical PC releases that give us a potential glimpse at what could be. It's not a fully complete vision, there are some ways to improve it like I said, but it's one that currently exists in this moment in time. And for that, I will cherish it. For how long it will continue to exist, I'm not sure, but I guess I'm just glad that some studios still see value in physical releases in the modern age. I just kind of wish that they saw the same value and potential in it like I do. Just enough to put in a little more effort and give PC players a proper physical release, just like our console brethren have. Thank you for watching and listening to me ramble about some random PC games. It's a dumb little topic, but it was one that hit my noggin when I saw that the PC release of Persona 5 Royal got a discount on Amazon. And honestly, that was the first time when I saw it on Amazon and it got its discount and all that, that was the first time that I even learned about there being a physical release for it. So, you know, lucky me, I guess. I did consider buying it digitally before that point, and I might have actually preferred it, but yeah, any saving is a good saving to me. Anyways, that's it for me. Thanks again for sticking around, and I hope you have a good one. See ya, and happy physical gaming!